everybody, my name is Shelley. Welcome to Food and Finance with Shelley, and welcome to my kitchen. Yep, this is my home kitchen, but I wanted to invite you in today to learn how to make delicious recipes and learn some financial tips along the way. So, why do I do food and finance? It's because I'm passionate about cooking and about using healthy ingredients and having fun in the kitchen. And I'm equally passionate about educating people and making sure they're financially literate and that they control their money and their financial future rather than the other way around. So today we're gonna make some really delicious desserts. I'm so excited. Oatmeal cookies with a cream filling. You may have noticed in the store, oatmeal cookies, they look a little sandwich cookies, right? And they're all wrapped in plastic and I love those. But you know, I'm older, I'm trying to eat healthier, so I've come up with a recipe that I call Little Shelleys because they're healthier, but they taste great, and I know you're gonna love to make them, and I know your family's gonna love them as well. The cooking theme here is going to be taking processed food, adding more natural, healthy ingredients, but still making it as delicious as the original. So that's what I want you to learn how to do with these cookies today. With your finances, I want you to take your old financial habits that were destructive and replace those with better habits, okay? So getting rid of preservatives on this end of your eating diet and getting rid of bad habits financially on your money diet. Let me mix a couple things together here. First, I'm going to cream the butter and sugar. And we've softened the butter, okay? And so we're going to turn this on. It's gonna be a little awkward at first. Let it cream it for just a couple of minutes until it gets nice and smooth. So I'm gonna tell you a story about some favorite clients of mine. And I've been working with them for over 10 years now. And they came to me with some mostly okay financial habits, but there was one really destructive one. And that was they didn't have kids, and so everybody in their family would come to them for money. And they loved their family, and so they became the family bank, which, you know, worked out fine when they were both working. But the wife and I met, and she wanted to quit her corporate marketing job. I'm now gonna add 2 egg yolks into it for some liquid. We don't want to add the cup in there, that wouldn't taste very good. We're going to add the liquid, and we're going to add some honey. And this lady, she came to me, and she, like I said, she was a corporate marketing exec. We're adding 2 tablespoons of honey. I'm not really measuring it. It's all sugar. We met, and her husband's a sheriff. They walked in my office and they were arguing. And they sit down across from me, and she wants to quit her marketing job, and she made more money than he did, and he was very nervous about it. So we sat down and we talked. And it was a little difficult. There was an argument for 10 minutes in my office. I sat and doodled for 10 minutes. What do you do? And it's like when your parents are arguing in front of you, you're a kid, right? You just sit there, kind of frozen. So I did. I drew pictures. And they said, what can you do? And by the time they left the office, I had talked to them, we got some information, we programmed in our software, and I got to tell him, John, guess what? Mary can retire and you guys are going to be fine financially, and this is why. You're going to stop giving money to your family. Now, initially I said that, they're like, can't do that, everyone needs us. I'm like, no, they don't need you. They're just used to asking you for money. And if Mary wants to retire and you want that vacation in Hawaii for your 20th anniversary coming up, you're gonna have to make this choice. And you know what? Clients don't always listen to you like that, but they quit cold turkey. And a couple years later, they sent me a postcard from Hawaii on their 20th wedding anniversary trip. They recognized in order for them to be financially successful, they had to stop a destructive habit, okay? So in order for you to be healthy and live a long life, we need to get rid of preservatives and chemicals and things in our diet, and we need to cook with more natural ingredients. So we've got our butter and our sugar, brown sugar creamed in here. I'm gonna add a little bit of vanilla. Remember? Good ingredients, get the good vanilla, okay? Don't be chintzy on vanilla extract, make sure it's real. We got a teaspoon, a little more than a teaspoon, it doesn't really matter. Cookies are very forgiving. So now we're gonna mix the batter, and the batter has flour, and it's got some salt in it. It's got your baking powder, and it's got some cinnamon. And now we are going to slowly add it to our butter and our brown sugar and our eggs. So slowly put it in and make sure it gets all absorbed. And this is another thing, you don't want to overbeat it. Whenever you're making baked goods, you don't want to overmix them. They get tough and chewy. and you don't want a tough, chewy cookie, right? So oatmeal cookies are kind of interesting. They're like a yummy dessert that pretends to be healthy, right? Because it's oatmeal. Your mom always taught you, eat your oatmeal, right? However, I don't think she meant eating it with a whole bunch of brown sugar. Regardless, we are now going to add the oatmeal in. This might feel like a little bit of hard work, but it's worth it. Getting your finances in order takes some work, it takes some effort, but it is so worth it. When clients come to the office, often they say they're ashamed. I'm like, what are you ashamed about? Well, I haven't saved enough money, or I have too much credit card debt, or I bought it too expensive of a car. You know, on and on and on. We've all done stuff like that. Here's the thing, money is not an emotional object. Money is a tool. It is a tool to get you to where you want to go. And if we can disassociate the emotion, one, we would have a lot more people who wouldn't lose money in the stock market because they buy and sell on emotion instead of on discipline. And you would feel a lot better about yourself. So I'm not saying don't be conscious if you make some financial mistakes. The key is to learn from them and grow. I made a chocolate cake a long time ago, and it called for buttermilk. It takes in the oven about 30 minutes. And I looked at it, I think, God, that looks kind of flat. And then I opened the refrigerator and I told my roommate, Robin, did you get buttermilk? Why'd you have buttermilk? And then all of a sudden, so what did I do? I made lemonade out of lemons. I pretended it was a chocolate mousse cake. Nobody knew the difference. So what's the moral of that story in terms of cooking? You know what? If you make a mistake, just be creative about it, and no one's gonna know unless you tell them. Financially, okay, so maybe you got skeletons in your closet in the old days. It doesn't make any difference if you made a mistake. Just move forward with it. Get expert advice when you need it. Make sure they're interested in your financial well-being and your best interest, and just move ahead and you'll be successful financially. I am gonna put some raisins into these because oatmeal raisin is my husband's favorite. And we wanna keep husband happy. This recipe, you can put dates in it. If you have access to dates, you can chop those up and use them instead of raisins. So I'm gonna put in about maybe a cup of raisins, maybe that many. And I'm also gonna put in toasted coconut. Now I had to toast this before the show. What you do is you get a bag of coconut, and I got the sweetened coconut, because I'm making cookies for goodness sake, right? And you put it in the oven at about 350, and you put it in for about 7-8 minutes. Make sure you keep an eye on it, because it's gonna get brown really quickly. I'm actually not a big coconut fan, but toasted coconut is delicious. So I highly recommend you add that in. So I'm just gonna mix it in like this. So I didn't really want to get raisins in the beaters because that can get really gunky really fast. So now in this case, we don't have to fold or use any fancy technique. We're just going to stir. Just like in finance, you don't have to do really fancy, complicated financial things to be successful. You just got to handle the basics. You got to save money, you got to invest money, you got to protect yourself and your family, and you have to make sure you plan for after we're gone. So that's all that matters. All right. We are now ready to put these cookies on the cookie sheet. So you don't have to, you can just spray nonstick coating on your cookie pan, but honestly, it stains the cookie sheet. So I have this parchment paper here. You can use foil, you can use those nonstick mats. I got this, it's compostable. I thought, oh, that's kind of nice to be ecologically responsible. So I'm gonna get about a tablespoon. And you know what? I mean, you want it to be in a ball. So you wanna roll it like this and put it here. And you want them to be about, an inch apart, 1.5 inches apart. They don't really spread that much, so you don't have to worry about too much. So we've got our cookies on our cookie sheet, and all we need to do, we're gonna put a little bit, whoops, slipping around there, a little bit of cinnamon sugar on top. Now the original recipe has me rolling them, but I gotta be honest with you, there is a lot of sugar on these, and even I, the sugar hound, felt like there was just a little too much. This is 3 tablespoons of sugar to 3 teaspoons of cinnamon. I'm going to put these cookies in a 375 oven for about 15 minutes. Okay, so let me open the oven up, put the cookies in. Our cookies are ready. I'm gonna take them out of the oven. All right, and aren't these beautiful? Oh, they smell so good. Remember, there used to be something called smell-o-vision that people used to predict. I wish you could smell the cinnamon and the sugar and the oatmeal right now. But let's do something to make them even better. We're going to make our filling. which is going to be cream cheese and powdered sugar and mascarpone, which is a type of cheese for spreading, and vanilla. Nothing decadent in that, huh? We've got 6 ounces of cream cheese, and I'm just going to peel off about 3/4 of it. Doesn't have to be precise. All right, we've got our powdered sugar. We've got our vanilla. Actually, I'm just gonna do a little splash. So it's about a teaspoon, maybe a teaspoon and a half. So those of you that have horror frights thinking about not measuring things, okay, so you can measure it if you want, it's a teaspoon. Honestly, what difference is it gonna make? The worst thing that happens is the sugar is a little bit different, the taste is a little bit different, but who's to say that's not how it's supposed to taste? Same thing with finances, you know? Who's to say that the way you wanna do things and the way your advisor helps you do things is the way that everybody should? Of course not. Everyone's gonna have their own unique plan, their own unique set of circumstances. And honestly, that's why I have an issue with using national talking heads as your model for financial information. Because it's not that what they're saying is wrong necessarily, but think about it. They are giving this advice for millions and millions of people. Well, you know, your next door neighbor has a completely different financial situation than you do. Your cousin in Jersey has a completely different financial situation than you do. So why would you take advice that's given to tens of millions of people? Why would you take that advice on your own? You need to have a plan that's unique to you, that fits into your specific circumstances. And if the advisor you're working with doesn't want to do that, find someone else. Let's see how this tastes. I bet it's going to be pretty good. Just going to mix it. And it tastes like we always do. Oh, to die for. Oh my God, that's so good. All right, so see if the cookies are cool. They're still a little warm. So what we're gonna do is I am gonna go take them over. I'm gonna put them on that rack over there and let them cool down, because if I put a filling with cream cheese in it and mascarpone cheese between 2 hot cookies, what do you think is gonna happen? It's gonna melt. So let's give it a little more time. Gotta be patient, just like we need to be patient with our investments. All right, guys, so here's the part that we love the most, where we get to finish and eat. Of course, you're eating them virtually, but I'm hoping you're gonna take these and make them in your own home. This is like a little complete package, right? That's just like what a financial plan is. A financial plan is a complete package of all of your financial needs and priorities, and it's all working together. Everything is leveraged, all your accounts are balanced. And notice how we assemble it, right? We've got the cookies, and the cookies have the raisins and the oatmeal. It's all a process. Well, just like that is financial planning. If you have ideas about ways to make these desserts better, or maybe you've got some creative cookie ideas, go to our website, www.foodandfinancewithshelley.com. I guess I've had a little too much sugar today. And let us know what you think. We'd love to hear ideas for recipes coming up, or how to make this better, or I can't believe you did it this way, Shelley. Why didn't you do this? Love suggestions, love input from the audience. And if you would like to have a conversation about your financial situation, maybe ask some financial questions, we're gonna have a link to my business website on there, which is Financial Success Strategies, and let us know you wanna reach out and maybe have a consultation. So we would love to hear from you. We're really glad you joined us today. Thanks for coming into my home and my kitchen. I'm really glad we could welcome you today. These are called Little Shelleys. That's just my own silly name for them. But anyway, hey, make your own cookies, name them, and let me know what you call them, okay? All right. Really good. And look, the icing squishes out. So what do you gotta do? Like you're 3 years old, right? Unbelievable. You gotta make these, guys.